It's a Tuesday night, you've got nowhere to go, nowhere to be, and you figure, why not watch a little League of Legends with my old buddy Samuel? Oh, wrong hotkey, there we go, welcome to Samuel Cast. It's a Tuesday night, every Tuesday and Thursday, broadcasting League of Legends, random matches to you. You can watch me hone my craft, become a better broadcaster. I, of course, am your host, Ian Samuel Barker. Happy to have you here tonight. If you're joining us, go ahead and crack open a beer, pour yourself a glass of wine, grab some water for you health nuts, and, check out the games. Feel free to stick around and enjoy the view. What I'm doing here, for those of you who are new to the stream, is I do what I call practice casting. My dream is to be an esports caster someday, but the problem is that you need practice to become better. League of Legends players practice all the time to become better at what they do, so how do broadcasters practice and become better? Very simple. I just open up the League of Legends client, check out that little, if this window is the League of Legends client, it's about right here. There's a little thing that says spectate game or watch now. And I check out those games, and I just commentate them. I go through, I give analysis, do play-by-play color commentary, the whole kit and caboodle. Usually we end up jumping into games a little bit late, so I try to give a prediction or two if I can, just to get us on track. But ultimately, my goal is to entertain you guys, become a better broadcaster in the process, and hell, burn a Tuesday night doing something really, really, really fun. For that reason, I hope you're here for the first time, or if you're a returning customer, thanks for coming by. Happy to have you around. A couple quick announcements. I want to talk about things. The first one is the fact that lately my fatigue level is through the roof. I started this thing called 3l's Extreme Body Shaping. Now, granted, I'm not like some kind of super fitness buff or something like that, but I want to be healthy. And in my late years, when I'm 50 years old, I want to look like I'm 20. That's not too much to ask as far as I'm concerned. And so I started doing this program, and next thing I know, every part of my body, including pieces that I didn't know exist, are just dying. Just filled with lactic acid, dying at every moment of the day. No amount of cottage cheese and protein shakes or water can help. And they keep telling me, just push water, it'll get better. They lie. They're damn liars. It's a problem. But hopefully someday you'll see me on camera and I'll be like this. I'll be like the width of the webcam, and you'll be like, 3l's Extreme Body Shaping, man. That's how we did it. I can do it too. Anyway, a couple quick announcements. Wanted to talk about a couple of things have changed. I decided to switch from my old kind of disjointed YouTube channel and my old Google account to something brand new. I decided that I was going to do something coherent that makes sense, so when people look for Strategy with Samuel online, they can find it at Strategy with Samuel. Makes sense, I know. So what I did is I opened up a new Google account, and unfortunately that does mean that some of you who subscribed to the previous channel are no longer around to see it. For that reason, I want to go ahead and just show this off real quick. Let me go ahead. There's my hotkey. Let's see if it popped up. Nope, that's 3. And browsing. There we go. Okay, so here's the new YouTube channel. It's at youtube.com/strategywithsamuel. For those of you who want to see the new videos, unfortunately I can't transfer the old videos to the new channel, but everything that comes out, like for example this broadcast, will continue to be put up on this YouTube channel, and for that reason I highly recommend that you subscribe. I know I hate pushing that, I hate saying the whole comment below, like my status, follow me on Twitter thing, but truly these things are the currency of the internet, and frankly it's just the easiest way for me to get content to you guys. If you want tutorials, if you want past episodes of Samuel Cast, you're just bored and you want to watch me scream my head off into a crackling mic, check it out, subscribe, and you'll get to know about that as soon as other people do. The other one thing I want to talk about is the website. I've added a couple things. First of all, the blog is pretty active. For those of you looking for advice on League of Legends or even just life, life coaching, I did a post a little while back about surviving the ranked queue and surviving League of Legends, and it was about things like handling negativity and making sure that you take breaks and stuff like that to make sure that your mental health is okay. Because frankly, you can only get told that you suck so many times before you end up being really, really sad about that fact. So alongside that, I've got resources for newer summoners. That's a resource post that I put up on Reddit today, and so if you want to just check out the blog, that stuff is here. But in addition to all of this stuff here, if you go over to the contact page, You can subscribe for weekly updates. Yes, that's correct. If you subscribe for weekly updates, you can get weekly episodes of Samu3l Cast. You can see those at your leisure. You can also see old episodes of Strategy with Samuel. It's this column, the strategy column that I do every Sunday night. Basic tutorials of basic mechanics of the game and some more sophisticated things along the side. This week's topic is... Come on, you didn't think I was going to tell you that easily, did you? But suffice to say, it will be awesome. You will definitely want to tune in. But all you have to do is enter your email address here and put in the right format, and I'll be sending out weekly digests of everything that I'm doing for that week, including blog posts, stuff like that. That way you don't have to keep checking out the website, check out an RSS feed or something like that. You just get the updates in your email. Pretty convenient. I do all the work, you get all the benefit. Not bad. The other thing that I did, let's see where it is I put up a QR code, and I know that like nobody uses QR codes. It's just not something that ever caught on, but I thought it was kind of cool. So I posted it in my sidebar. Now, if you scan this with your QR reader on your phone, you get subscribed to the email list, and I can send you updates every week. Anyway, that is just about all of these. Ultimately, what you came to see here is League of Legends, and let's see, where is that? That's right, the friggin' Pope. HGH would help quite a bit, and then I think that I really would reach the width of the webcam. But what you came here to see is League of Legends. That's what I'm going to give to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and log into the client, check out and see what kind of games we can see. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get to see some famous people doing some cool stuff. Let's go ahead and just log in here real quick. We're going to try to find a game that is a little bit earlier in its progression. That way we can kind of get ahead of things instead of logging into a 7-0 bloodbath and saying, so the purple team looks like they're doing pretty good. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and grab it. Because of the whole password change, I can no longer use passwords that I remember. So I use a program called LastPass. I highly recommend it. It stores all of your passwords in encrypted formats. That way you can generate passwords, store it on there, and if anybody does break into your account, or if somebody, for example, hacks the LastPass servers, it doesn't matter. There's nothing they can do because the data is backed up, and for that reason, you don't have to worry about them deciphering it or anything like that. Looks like we're patching just a little bit, so it looks like that might take a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to bore you with some filler, anything like that. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. I'm going to throw on some music for you, and when we come back, we will definitely be doing some League of Legends. Stay tuned.
And if I recover, will you be my cover?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are patched. We are ready to go, and this pool party splash art, I gotta say, is awesome. I really don't have the disposable income to spend this much money on skins, but boy, do I want to. Welcome back to Samuel Cast. It's not Sunday, not Strategy with Samuel. I am your host, Ian Samuel Barker. If you're interested in more of my content, I highly encourage you to check out the website, www.ianjbarker.net. I bought a domain name. It was exciting. It was exhilarating. It's done. It's up. It's ready to go, and the website looks glorious, if I do say so myself. And I do. But what we're here to do is we're here to watch some League of Legends. So let's do exactly that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log right into the client, and let's check out some games that we have going for us. Let's see if we can find anything extra interesting, because that's what we like to see on Samuel Cast, is something interesting, something unconventional. At least that's my favorite thing to see, and something unexpected, so we get to see a little bit of extra flair and finesse from our players. Looks like we got one in about 4 minutes 35 seconds. Good solid compositions. I think we're definitely going to be doing that one. Let's go ahead and head in a bit about the compositions as we wait for the loading screen to pop up. And there's my beautiful spot of eyes you can see now, glorious as it is. Looks like we got some well-ranked players. We're going to go see some good action out of this, hopefully so. And taking a look at the lineups. On the blue side, we got the Dragonwing Corky, played by Crag. Zach, played by Calls Me Nasty. Tundra Fizz, played by Troll. Wildfire's Hour, played by Champ. Debater Jace, played by XX Eternity. Pax Jax, played by Marine Revenge. Shakel, played by Whale Whisker. Hillbilly Greg is played by Brozo Joe. Ezreal, played by Reka. And Victorious Gianna, played by Villy. And just taking a look at the compositions, we see a couple TSM fans, a few obviously Samu3l LCS fans, and who couldn't be excited right now on the build-up to the World Championships. I know I'm excited, and you should be too. But taking a look at the composition specifically, I really like this blue side composition. I think that with the combination of Corky, who's made an incredible comeback into the scene, Zach's lockdown, Fizz's ability to really wreck face in the mid lane, although against Gragas with his mobility and his burst damage, that's going to be difficult, as well as the Zyra and Jace the Zyra lockdown and the Jace power up in the top lane. I think they're going to be doing really well in this matchup. But however, what we see already is a 2-0 up for the purple team, 8k to 6.8k, about a 1.2k difference, which is insurmountable at 6 minutes in, but it's certainly not great. Not exactly how you want to start things. Calls Me Nasty throwing down a little bit of harassment damage onto Brozo Joe. Do we see any unconventional item builds at the moment? We not. Fizz going for that crystalline flask, a couple Doran's rings just to put a little bit of damage down onto Greg is obviously going to be a little difficult to deal with in that early lane. Greg is such a nebulous champion, frankly. He's a champion that, on top of being just absolutely bursty, seems to have the survivability of some much more powerful for example, junglers, as well as top laners. He's just a champion that, for my money, is one that I would really like to learn to play because he looks really fun. Taking a look at the CS differential, Corky obviously, actually not a Corky in the top. Let's go ahead and fix these things real quick. Zyra down there in support, Jace up there in the top, Fizz in the mid lane, Shake on the jungle, Jax, actually, who is in the jungle? Yep, we got Jax up in the top lane, Gragas in the middle, and Janna and Ezreal down at the bottom. Let's talk about the purple team composition a little bit before we get too far away from it. The fact is that while the blue team has a great composition, one that I really favor, the purple team's composition is great. The single target damage of Shaco as well as Jax is going to be absolutely huge. The surprise and initiation capabilities, those two championships, obviously speaks for itself. Whereas Gragas with that crowd control ultimate as well as the ability to rush in is going to have some initiation of his own. Ezreal going for that, we don't really know what build he's going for right now, was the meta goes. As the meta goes right now, with the Triforce being buffed the way it was, we see the fall off of blue Ezreal, so I assume that he's going to go for that Trinity Force after he gets the Bloodthirster. And with Janna's Howling Gale as well as the Monsoon, there's a lot of lockdown, a lot of control from this purple team. It all depends on the single target execution of each of the casters on the team. Zyra pull throw out the grasping group. The Howling Gale's going to hold them in place just for a second. We see and actually Shaco coming in through the middle. There we go with the blue buff. Gonna dive down. Valkyrie actually gets Corky just barely to save the Mystic Shot going down. No ignite onto either of them, but putting down plenty of damage. The last Mystic Shot missing onto Corky. The blue lane bottom will get away safely, but the fact that they have to get away means extra CS for Ezreal and some unharassed warding for Janna. Taking a look at the mid lane, Fizz obviously looking for his lane opponent, but up in this top lane, this is the one I'm really interested to see because Jack's such a lane bully in this top lane, capable of just absolutely incredible performances. But Jace obviously holding his own very well. He's obviously going to snowball very well, and we'll have to see how this matchup continues as the game goes on. In this middle lane, Shaco just taking a little trip through the mid lane, trying to put some harassment damage down to Troll, but his mobility, the Playful Trickster, I assume getting him out of there. There's the Playful Trickster again, but there's the ultimate actually putting him clear out of the side, having to run through the bushes. Will Brozo Joe, there we go, the rush across the terrain. There's another burst, and one more auto attack has to do it, chugging through those potions. There's the Playful Trickster again, the flash in by Calls Me Nasty. Actually, the Let's Bounce, keeping him up just for a second. The ultimate by Fizz missing, but that clutch flash in as well as the Let's Bounce, keeping his mid carry safe and keeping a kill out of the very, very powerful hands of Gragas. Good stuff all in all. As Jace looks to back, looks like they're going to want to push this top lane up the top. Shaco, not exactly the fastest wave clear, with the boxes giving him a little bit of support, but ultimately Jack's just getting some free farm up here, not going to be threatening the turret especially badly. And actually, Jace decides to stay. He's going to come back from his turret, seeing the extra threat. There's the stealth from Shaco in, actually does get the damage down. There's the box, the fear not going out, the acceleration gate actually will get him away. The ultimate popped by Shaco, going way deep on this. There's the leap strike, the empower, and there's the dash. No ultimate popped by Jax, getting himself a free kill, even getting the flash out of Jace. A great play by them. Good stuff in general. The purple team pinging out this dragon attempt. They're going to want to stop this objective play. They find themselves about 2k up, but ultimately they don't want to let that gold lead diminish if they could possibly help it. You want to hold on to that lead and carry it in, but if ultimately they will give up the dragon, unfortunately, just not getting there in time. And here we go, Corki actually putting down a ton of damage, and the ultimate goes out onto Janek, taking her down. The Grasping Root going onto Ezreal. The Gatling gun coming out of Corki, but it will not land on anybody. Great play from them. They saw Gragas coming through the river, and they knew that they had to do something. Call Me Nasty actually gets caught in the river, taken out by Gragas. He now has 2 kills to his name, and with double the CS, double the CS of his lane opponent, he's going to be sitting pretty with that Chalice already completed. And Jax, here's the matchup that I was talking about. The bullying potential of this Jax absolutely rearing its ugly head, taking down the first turret of the game for the purple team. And as I call the initial discussion about the team compositions in the beginning a premature evaluation or a premature prediction, and there's no question at 4-1, finding themselves about 2.5k gold up, that was definitely a premature evaluation. The Playful Trickster actually avoids the ultimate from Gragas, keeping himself safe, but Shaco is waiting in the wings. They want to go on this. Jace decides to back away, but Shaco will actually go back himself. Jason needs to take care of this top lane. Absolutely needs to. Down at the bottom lane, we've got a bit of a brawl on our hands. Corki trying to put out what damage he can, but it's the battle of the skill shots as Ezreal putting that True Shot barrage, the Mystic Shot as well as the Arcane Shift damage onto Crag. Crag now life stealing up a little bit with those Berserker's Greaves and the Doran's Blade. Gonna try to keep himself safe, and as we see the Zeal coming out for Ezreal, we are going to see that Trinity Force build. It's becoming so popular. Frankly, I think it's the more viable build. I'm happy to see that. Make a resurgence. I never personally did well with the blue Ezreal build, and I'm happy to see that it is fading out a little bit. Calls Me Nasty going to get seen by this ward up here. Great warding by Janet, going to keep them safe. But the middle turret is not long for this world. Even throwing the cask over the wall to take the Wraith camp, Gragas is absolutely on a tear in this game. Can anybody stop him? That's ultimately going to decide the outcome of this game, in my opinion. Shaco taking a little trip into the jungle. Not going to see any buffs, but he sees a nice, juicy, medium rare wolf camp just for his taking. 110 CS to 48 CS, finding himself very down. Fizz needs to make something happen. He's a champion who's capable of snowballing in very big ways, but if he can't get the farm, if he can't make it happen, he's just going to get bullied out of this lane by Gragas. With Jax pushing the top lane, things are starting to look very good for the purple team as they snowball towards this mid-game. Jace going to head up towards this top lane, try to do something about this while the bottom lane fights it up. Zach actually wants to move in for a gank, again being seen by that ward. Just going to head up through the river, try to hide in the bush, but the purple team know that this is going on. They have more than their fair share of escape mechanisms. There's the elastic slingshot. Will they actually see this? The jump in and the splat. There goes the grasping root. The stranglehold actually does catch Janna. Great job by the blue team to secure that kill onto the support, but Fizz finds himself in no man's land as Gragas is going hunting, and in that outfit, it's probably with a double barrel shotgun and a toothpick in his mouth. Jax wants to take this blue buff, but ultimately it's not there. I'm sorry, the blue team actually pinging that out. They want to take this blue buff, and Brozu Joe a couple of buffs on him already. Maybe get a little bit greedy, but ultimately resources stolen from the jungle are a benefit no matter who gets the buff. Looking to turn things around down here. The Mystic Shot missing. There's another Q coming out of Zyre. Just trying to put down some retaliatory damage as Whale Whisker chases on, but ultimately nothing will come of it. Going to be spotted through that ward. So they know they will be safe to back. They're going to head back to the base and spend some of that hard-earned gold getting the Zeal as well as the Phage for Corki. Actually looks like he might be going for the Trinity Force as well. We'll have to see how that pans out for them. Eternity just trying to put some counter harassment damage down here if he can. The cast comes out as well as the dash. The exploding cast throws him back into the lane. Leaf Strike and power, dealing enough damage. The Ignite takes down Jace. The Let's Bounce in the counter. Fizz just trying to get some damage down. Brozo Joe so strong. The Playful Trickster misses. There's the punch by Jace. Actually barely taking down Gragas, but ultimately the team fight will go to the blue team. Throwing out the ultimate from Corki, getting those kills. There's another elastic slingshot. The ultimate from Corki misses. Jax will get away safely. And a great turnaround by them to bring the kills 4-7. Still down about 3, but securing some much needed gold for their players. Great play by Zach. I keep wanting to call him Jax. Great play by Zach to secure that kill. Great follow-up damage by Corki. If you want to get kills on somebody right now, it's Corki. 3 kills to his name. Gonna have to carry his team a little bit. It's 4 deaths in the top lane. I mean, Jason needs a lot of help. Hope Corki's shoulders are burly. Taking a look at the completed items. So we do have the Brutalizer as well as the Tear of the Goddess up on Jace compared to the Phage and the Zeal done for Jax. Obviously losing that lane, unfortunately, in a big way. 4 kills on Jax. We'll have to see how that pans out later on. Average Blade actually done. Is that an Average Blade? It is an Average Blade. Yes, Average Blade actually done, as well as the Boots Mobility done on Shaco. Going to be doing a lot of damage as he comes into the fight and moving quickly through the jungle. That's very important. His unpredictability just leaves a completely unpredictable dimension to the game. His unpredictability adds unpredictability. Who'd have thunk? Again, look at the completed items. Themes on Holy Grail done onto Gragas. Working towards that Trinity Force for Ezreal. Working on that. Zeal will be his next. I keep calling the Sheen a Zeal, and I will correct myself right now. Berserker's Greaves and some pots down on Corki, but here we go, a big team fight coming down. Shaco actually coming into this fight, trying to get the fear down. Corki just trying to fight for his life. The ultimate comes out of Shaco. Will he be able to get it down? Gatling gun, the proc for the armor, oh my goodness, the armor reduction doing absolute damage. And apparently lagging out. Oh, I see. He was taking down the ultimate part, but I wondered why that Shaco wasn't moving. But ultimately, a great fight. Great fight. Great plays by Corki. Finishing that Trinity Force at the same time as his opposing AD carry. 4 kills to his name. Doing absolutely great. Needs to carry this team. And Jace just trying to keep Jax out from under his turret. Ultimately, having to knock him away just to keep the turret damage down. And Gragas living in his jungle at this point with that mid-turret down. And Fizz, no threat whatsoever. Half the CS of his opponent with no kills to his name. The gold leaves absolutely huge. Let's go ahead and take a look at that gold. Let's see, it is about almost 2,500 in favor of Gragas. That is a lot. But here comes the counter gank, actually. The Let's Bounce coming out of Zach. The ultimate from Fizz. Going to try to put down the Ignite as well, but he will ultimately dash away. There's the Playful Trickster again, jumping into the bush, but he will find Shaco. Shaco now stealth, putting the damage down, doing a ton of damage as he chases down Troll, but seeing the Zach in there, going to get away. Throwing out the long-range cast, trying to get some damage down onto Fizz. Not enough to take him out. Good turnaround by the purple team to keep them safe. I keep forgetting that there's a team fight UI. I'm adjusting to this new patch on the fly, and honestly, it was one of the things I was the most excited about when they announced that the team fight UI was coming out, because just for situations like this, when you get into a big fight and all you have to look at are health bars, it's nice to be able to see a comparison of the two teams and get a little more information on the screen while decluttering the UI. Happy to see it. Well, Whisker trying to push this lane, but Corki with so much damage to his name, going to be putting out a lot of punishment. The Howling Gale misses entirely. They're just trying to pressure that turret, but here comes Gragas. So much damage going down out of Corki. The Stranglethorn actually pops them up, gets Janna, now getting chased down himself. There's the exploding cast, just a bit him under the turret. The Mystic Shot misses. Gragas trying to loop around behind it. There's Fizz. Will he be able to threaten him away with Gragas at half health? And actually the elastic slingshot out of Zach, trying to chase down, and there's a Playful Trickster actually avoids the cast, keeping Fizz safe just for the time being, but here comes Jax. Let's go ahead and go to the team fight UI and see how things are going on. The purple team looking very strong in this one. A lot of burn damage coming out of that red buff. The Leaf Strike along with the Empower as well as the counter-strike coming out from Jax, keeping him safe, gets another kill. Brozo Joe actually gets that one, chasing down Zach now, even with the acceleration gate, procs the Cell division, keeping this fight well in favor of the purple team, and the blue team losing very, very hard now. 8-12 the kills, 5,000 gold and 2 towers in favor, now ballooning to 6,000 in favor of the purple team. They're getting the kills where they need to get it. They're getting the team fights where they want to take them, and they're capitalizing on the early lead they built in that early game situation. They're coming along well, and they're picking up steam as they do it. You're talking about a group of champions that snowballs extremely well. Shaco, Samu3l, Jackson, Gragas going to become absolute monsters as this goes on. Corky, hope your shoulders are strong, buddy. 18 minutes, 58 seconds into the game. This game seriously in favor of the purple team. Everything going their way, and the blue team needs to find a stop of some kind. So let's talk about what they could do to make that happen. The first thing they need to do is push some objectives. At this point, they're getting outplayed in the team fights. They need to take small skirmishes, pick people off, or not let the fights go on too long. Focus their attacks, do the damage that they need, and don't take a protracted team fight, because with the mobility of this purple team, by the time that they spend the time to actually engage in a full-out team fight, and actually Shaco with the red buff steal, the box going out does not proc the fear, but a little bit of damage onto Zach, ultimately hurting his pride more than anything else. But like I was saying, they need to take these small skirmishes, because if the full-out team fight happens, they lose. They cannot afford to keep letting these happen. There's a big one coming out of Corky. So much damage coming out of that ultimate. The acceleration gate shock blast just barely denting the health of Jax. Chase, an absolute uphill battle here, and the purple, and this is what I'm talking about. They need to get some objectives. They need to get some map control of their own if they want to be able to take these engagements, and a good bit of lane pressure down there at the bottom is very important. Jace wisely not engaging on Jax, but there's the leaf strike as well as the ultimate, the counter strike, keeping him safe in power just enough. Jax, an absolute terror right now. Giant's Belt, Trinity Force, double Dorans, and Ninja Tabby, keeping him safe under tower, around tower, in the jungle. It does not matter. Jax, folks, is here to stay. Craig actually takes a kill down here in the bottom lane. Marine Revengeance destroys blue turret up at the top, but ultimately the fight going in favor of Corky. Like I said, those shoulders of Corky are strong right now. He's a character who kind of came out of nowhere, didn't get any particular buffs or anything like that, but pushing this objective, getting that Trinity Force, building himself up. Corky's going to become a monster as this game goes on, if they can keep the game going on that long. Jax pushing the inhibitor turret in this top lane. They need to do something about this. And Fizz just not finding the farm. Curiously enough, it appears like he's going for fights instead of actually going for the CS. He needs to catch up in items. Here's the team fight down here at the bottom, ultimately taking out Brozo Joe, and that's what I was talking about. They need to find those small skirmishes. They need to find those opportunities to get a pick off, get some gold for their carries, and even more gold going out to Corky, who's a good person to put it on, especially with all that AoE magic damage. And no magic resist to speak of on the opposing team. Don't see any Spirit Visages or GAs, anything like that. Also coming out of Shaco, putting damage onto Troll, and that's the thing. Troll cannot take those fights. I don't like to be any players because obviously they're doing the best they can. They're making the best decisions they can considering the situation. Maybe he just got caught ultimately with Shaco's stealth. But truth be told, he cannot afford to keep taking those skirmishes. He needs to get out if the situation arises. Cracker to put down what damage he can. The first person to actually put a dent in Jax's health right now. There was another one actually manages to repel Jax at the same time as Samu3l, doing a great job of defending this turret. But here comes Janna into the lane. Can they catch her out? Zyra actually going to throw out the grasping moves. Does manage to catch her. There's her Q. Some more damage. Can Jack or Zach get down here? And will the purple team rotate down to help it? There's the elastic slingshot and just enough damage to take her down. The purple team ultimately don't want to take this fight. Well decided by them. Give up the support. Don't lose the carry. Wise decisions indeed. Now taking the Wraith camp. Well, this skin is just gorgeous. Shaco coming in, doing a ton of damage to Zyra, but there's a Stranglethorn as well as a flash backwards. The True Shot Barrage comes out. Actually, it's nobody. Crag getting another kill, now up with 8 kills. They just want to put some damage down onto other people. Jax coming in. There's the ultimate, misses out of Fizz, but they're on the retreat. Blue team pushing this purple team back, getting into this game. Elastic slingshot in. There's the Let's Bounce. Can they catch any champions? They do catch 2. Samu3l and Jax running for their lives. Finally, some lane pressure and some victories for the blue team. Great great team fight from them, great decision making, and great focus, getting them back into this game. Now only about 6K down. It's not much, but it's a start. But hold on there, folks. Jay's getting caught up in this lane after taking the buff, after attempting to take the buff. There's a flash forward, the flash backwards, the juke, and then unfortunately the cask will take down Jay's Fear. Blue Fan at home. That is 6 deaths onto the powerful top laner. And the real question becomes, when do the blue team stop letting this happen? They can't keep letting their objectives get pushed. They need to take some of their own, get some lane pressure, use their coordination as well as their strong AD carry to make something happen. They cannot keep letting this happen, or they will not have a chance left in this game. Crag using his strong, burly 8-kill shoulders to try to get some damage down, but ultimately they will sack this turret. Stranglethorn as well as the ultimate going down onto Jax, putting on a little bit of harassment damage onto him, stopping his push just a little bit as the purple team decides to retreat. True Shot Barrage going to clear out that wave a little bit. Doesn't ultimately hit anybody, but good stuff as the purple team find themselves up 5 turns to 1 at 22 minutes and 55 seconds into the game. Looking at the completed items, Lichbane done onto Fizz, trying to catch up on items as best he can, but with Gragas, Rabbit on Death Camp, Athene's Unholy Grail, he's going to be putting out a ton of burst damage, as well as with those Sorcerer's Dreads, getting a little bit of magic penetration to his name. Support-wise, both teams pretty equal, although the Cage Lucky Pick and Philo's Stone Giant Optic for that Gold Pretend build popularized by Lemon Nation, and just a single blog post to change the way I play support, to be honest. The question is, do the blue team have enough tankiness to withstand 2 Trinity forces? Now even Shaco with a static shift is going to be putting out a ton of damage. Looks like he's going to be building into a Blade of the Rune King. He'll be a dueling master. Shaco becoming so strong. There's the ultimate actually just to push this turret down. The acceleration gate shock blast taking out a big chunk of that wave. But here comes Crag jumping into that bottom lane. Oh my goodness. Getting all tabbed out, but looking at the team fight, looks like things are going very well for them, chasing down the real Shaco. Zach's still on a tear, but seeing Jax come into this top lane, acceleration gate shock blast will harass him away a little bit, but as they're defending this lane, as they've rotated so many resources down into this bottom lane, the top and middle are both being pushed badly. The Valkyrie fell over the wall for Crag, will keep him out of this fight, at least temporarily, getting so much damage down on this turret, they cannot keep letting these objectives fall away from them. Greg is pushing the top turret, gets about 2/3 health down on it. Gonna use that drink just to prop himself up a little bit more for some sustain. And as soon as the attention is pulled away from this bottom turret, they walk right back in and take it. The team composition may be my preference to the blue, but ultimately team coordination going heavily in favor of the purple team, making some absolutely fantastic decisions against this blue team lineup. Purple team going to head up into this dragon, and they will of course take it. They have the damage for it. To Trinity for static shiv from Shaco, just going to be able to put down the damage they need and ultimately take it. Samu3l going to continue throwing. Oh my goodness, folks. Throwing his Q at the minions, keep the lane pressure going. Great stuff from the purple team. I feel like I've spent a lot of time on this half of the map with my observer. And it's simply because half the time this game has been spent on the blue side of the map. The purple team has not relented in pressure. They've used their mobility as well as their unpredictability to continue to get pickoffs and push the lane. And frankly, it's paying dividends. 6 turrets to 1. 35.1 to 44.8 K gold is the difference in favor of the purple team. 16 kills to 13 at 26 minutes and 34 seconds into the game. What do you do if you're the blue team? You've got a team that's got the self-sustain, they got lifesteal as well as the monsoon. Even if the purple team do fall on hard times, even if they do find themselves in need of health, they will be able to use that monsoon to prop themselves up again. Not a ton of AP out of Janus, so it's not going to heal for a bunch. But at this point, with the amount of damage that they're throwing down, by the time they have to use the monsoon, it'll probably be just enough to finish off the enemy team. And the blue team now looking for this Baron. They're looking for this comeback Baron. The Vision Ward here is going to spot that out. If they decide to go for it, will they decide to counter ward? We'll have to see. Here's the plan as well as the Q. There's another ward, but ultimately they don't see that Vision Ward. Not enough money for pinks for Zyra. That's going to be a problem. Jack's doing his best to split push as the team goes up top. They see the team walking over that ward up at the Baron, and so they're of course going to move down to this bottom lane, push it out a little bit, occupy their time, and take some more buffs and camps on the map. 27 minutes, 36 seconds into the game, and it feels like it is potentially already over as the purple team just waiting to finish this one off. Now they will head a little bit over towards the Baron pit. Ultimately, they will not decide to go for it. Jack's still pushing this bottom lane. That's the thing. Corki can spam those rockets all he wants, but it's not enough to stop the stick-wheeling, straw hat-bearing master of martial arts. By the way, if anybody knows, is that mask his face? Because I don't know. I have no idea. The blue team Spidey sense kicking in as they see this ward around the corner. They're going to head over towards Baron, but can they afford to give up a turret down to the bottom? So much damage coming out of this purple team, but I don't think it'll actually be enough to keep them, or to give them the Baron before the blue team gets here. There's a little bit of damage onto Brozo Judy, but he actually gets the kill on Externity, and there's the Let's Bounce, trying to catch Whale Whisker, actually does manage to catch two! Huge pickup for the blue team. Troll slaying Whale Whisker, now to hunt up towards the top, but as this is happening, Jax is proxy farming, takes down Crag, the big offensive weapon for the blue team. Troll getting a killing spree, but if they give up an inhibitor turret and an inhibitor in the process and do not secure Baron at the same time, was it worth it? Was it worth it? The purple team actually managed to get the Baron. I didn't even catch that in the action. So a huge series of events for the purple team. Possibly the final nail in the coffin as this 12K lead is starting to look pretty insurmountable for our heroes in blue. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew them well. That Mystic Shot doing quite a bit of damage to Troll. The Troll is actually probably the story of this game. Unfortunately, getting shut down so hard in the middle. Just never getting the CS, not getting the farm. Nobody on this team really getting the farm simply because they've been pushed the whole time. It took a member of the team straight out of the game. We saw the Mystic Shot take down probably a third of his health once it hit. And because of that, and almost stopping the back, that would have been devastating as Rafa definitely would have gotten that kill. Here there's a little bit of damage. Whale Whisker actually catching outside of the Ignite damage going down. But there we go. The AoE damage from Jace putting down so much takes down Shaco. A great pickup for them. They're not out of the woods yet. They're not able to 1v3. As soon as you can 1v3, you know that you probably won the game. But in the meantime, yeah, just one character out of the game. He's at what, 2,000 HP roughly? Almost 2,000 HP. Not a ton of AP to his name. He still only has that needlessly large rod. Still doesn't have his Zaradan's death cap. Whereas Gragas on the other side already has the Void Staff, Athene's Unholy Grail, Seeker's Arm Guard, and Rabadon's death cap. As well as an enchantment on his boots. The guy is absolutely 5 slotted. We won't say he's 6 slotted yet. The next thing he'll pick up will really probably be the last item that he picks up. But at this point, with 7 kills and almost 300 CS, he is done. Done. He can start funneling that CS into other members of his team. And then profit. I mean, question mark, profit. Purple team not letting this lane pressure go, using the regen of that Baron as well as the tenacity of a team with a 2-2-3 Ezreal, 239 CS, 39 CS over his opponent. Although Corki with his 9 kills needs to start doing some work, man. I keep talking about his strong shoulders, but can he carry 4? The Q coming out of Zyra. There's the Gatling gun, actually, the Valkyrie backwards, just too scared of Jax, or maybe he saw Ezreal coming in. It's hard to say. The ward up in the bush looks like that's what happened. But Craig, now we go into the team fight. Giant Stranglethorn melts the purple team, absolutely devastates them. Blue team absolutely destroying them in this team fight. Now they just need to get something out of it. Nuking them down. Unbelievable damage from this team, but they're not out of the woods yet. With Ezreal and Jax coming in as well as Shaco putting a ton of burst damage down onto Fizz. There's some more damage coming out. Jax jumping onto Shrimp, actually not taking him down fully. Fizz getting taken out. Crag putting down what damage he can, but Marine Revenge still stands, and it doesn't matter how many you take out. Jax is still here. Triple kill for Jax. Now trying to take down Troll, but the elastic slingshot from Zach will ultimately end that fight. A big victory. 3 for 5. Honestly, if you're in the the blue team's position, you take it. You're still 12k down. You're still 6 turrets down. But the death timers are so big right now that at least you have the chance to go into your own jungle, push your own lanes, and get something going. So there's no question, folks. The blue team is still fighting, and we're all thankful for that because nobody likes to see a blowout, and who doesn't love a comeback story? That's what made the Mighty Ducks so awesome. 32 minutes and 44 seconds into the game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the completed items for the blue team. Trinity Force as well as Bloodthirster done for Corky. He's going to be putting out a lot of damage. Infinity Edge as well as Last Whisper done on the other side, so he's pretty much even with his lane opponent, although obviously the stacks of this Bloodthirster, what is he actually up to on those stacks? Okay, so he's got a good amount of lifesteal, not fully stacked, obviously, because he's he's had some deaths recently, but it should be enough. Lock of the Iron Solari coming out of Zyra, and that's a great item for them. With the combination of the Stranglethorn as well as the Lock of the Iron Solari, it will give them a lot of survivability in these team fights. And the blue team looks to push this middle turret with 4 up. Shaco split pushing that top lane. Unfortunately, just not enough yet to keep themselves safe. That Greg is so tanky, man, eating those rockets and ultimately not doing anything. Jay's starting to get into the game a little bit. Got that Mana Mune finally, as well as the Last Whisper. Brutalizer still in there. Jay is actually the Elastic Slingshot and the Let's Bounce trying to catch somebody. The Monsoon actually pushes Zac away. Ultimately, Janna will live. The Q coming out as well as the turret. True Shot Barrage follows across the entire team, but now Shaco is pushing the top turret and they need to get back. Jack's trying to pursue up here. Will they try to keep themselves safe? Elastic Slingshot out, and yes, they just need to protect their objectives. The blue team losing that turret, an unfortunate fight, going full on in that mid turret and still losing the objective. They are just in such a precarious spot, especially with a team with 2 solid split pushers. And now as the purple team looks to move into the base, they're going to need another miracle, another nuke, another set of incredible crowd control to keep themselves safe. But the purple team want this victory bad. A couple of plants, as well as a Q, putting a ton of damage onto Shaco. It's why I love Zyra so much. Started playing her recently, have not quit since, but they want this inhibitor. The purple team want to end this. It's gone on too long. 8 turrets up, 14k gold ahead. They want to finish this game in style. Jack's going to draw their attention down to this bottom inhibitor turret, now just dueling as best he can, using that lifesteal as well as the counter strike, but all the damage going down. But as soon as they distract them down there, Zyra forced to deal with this up top, the inhibitor going down, the Strangler coming out, and now the damage coming out of Corky. Corky putting down as much damage as he can, Exploding Test stopping him just temporarily, almost dying to the Shaco clones. The Chum of the Water comes up onto Brozo Joe, taking him down. It's another 5-for-2 fight. The blue team getting themselves back in this game. It is not over yet. Woo! I barely have any breath left in my lungs, folks. Timing the Baron buff perfectly. The blue team are going to move on to this and hopefully get some lane pressure. They just need to make sure that they don't lose any Nexus turrets or lose to any backdoor. And that's the problem now. With 2 inhibitors down, backdoor potential is absolutely through the roof. Was it a 5-1? Thanks for pointing that out, friggin' Pup. I appreciate that. They're going to take the Baron, and the problem is they're now open to backdoor initiation. They simply cannot let the lanes get too pushed or they will lose their Nexus turrets. And frankly, that looks like a pretty attractive option for the purple team. Going to be pushing out of their base. The blue team with the Baron buff looking to make their stand, turn some momentum around, and hopefully get some turrets in return. We'll have to see how things work out. The gold lead actually falls. Okay. It's a start. It is a start. Purple team going to move towards this dragon, which will make it about 11k. Corky moving into the jungle to try to get his buffs. The purple team far enough away that Corky will actually be fine as he takes this. Purple team actually takes the dragon. Now Corky needs to hightail it out of here. The last thing the blue team can do right now is get caught. And frankly, with Zyra sitting in this very precarious position, I'm a little worried. Okay, she sees the ward, she sees the team coming, and she will get out. The great thing is they have this health regen, but there actually goes the Elastic Slingshot as well as the Let's Bounce all onto Jax. They're trying to eliminate him from this fight. The Rocket's coming out, the Valkyrie in just a pursuit, and the Exploding Cast does a ton of damage to the blue team. Ultimately going to back up. Shiva's still trying to push this lane. If they can take down this final inhibitor, it may be curtains for the blue team. Fighting valiantly, but do they have enough left in the tank with this Baron buff to keep this game going. But with the push, the extra damage coming down, the Chum of the Water actually latches on, but a great zone is out of Gragas to keep himself safe. There's the elastic slingshot, and doesn't ultimately catch anybody, but Jax is coming back into the fray, and he's focusing Jace. There goes the Grass Fury, missing everybody, the Q missing everybody, the cast coming out. There's the elastic slingshot, ultimately hitting nobody. Doesn't even have the ultimate. I do not believe he does. Getting feared out. Another exploding cast has to flash away so that his passive doesn't proc. The blue team finding themselves very much on the back foot. Shaco says split push the top lane. Just not getting the initiation. The coordination just not there. But as they sit in their base and they use the health regen, can they keep themselves alive? Can they keep themselves safe as this siege continues? They're going to put out plenty of damage with Shaco split pushing. Zach actually, now that he has the Baron buff, able to regen very nicely, especially after a quick trip back to base, will ultimately protect that top turret. They want to keep this middle turret up just so they have one lane they don't have to worry about. But as that's happening, the bottom lane is creeping in. The timer is running against the purple team, I'm sorry, the blue team, and ultimately they need to make some decisions. They need to make quick, decisive decisions, assign people very strategically, take care of this lane pressure, and push out and get something. They need another team fight win that will ultimately lead to more objectives. But until that happens, they cannot afford to take too many risks, and that is going to continue to hamper them as long as the purple team decide to play patient. But ultimately, the problem with lower echelons of play is why would you want to play it patient? That's kind of how the logic goes. If I'm Jax, I'm sitting there at 10 kills, Rainwind's Omen, Hextech, Gunblade, Ninja Tabby, Spirit Cowl, as well as the Trinity Force, I'm feeling pretty good about my chances. I'm going to want to initiate. But if they can get another catch out, if the blue team can capitalize on that impatience and get something from it, they will ultimately benefit from it. Because I feel like once one member of this team is down, the blue team have a real fighting chance, especially if it's Jax. He just brings so much tankiness and lifesteal to the team. 39 minutes and 8 seconds into the game, a real barn burner. The blue team grasping to life. Speaking of grasping roots coming out. Going to try to clear that wave a little bit. Keeping the lanes pushed. Jace actually pushing that lane out a little bit along with Zach, but the top lane is pushing in a bit. They need to be careful of that. They want to push out in the middle lane, putting down some damage onto Jace. There's actually the initiation. The Let's Bounce coming out, not catching a lot of people. There goes the Monsoon with the Grass Moves, actually going to catch two. The Chum in the Water misses everybody. Zach actually caught out entirely. Shaco now taking down the turret. Zyra trying to put down what damage he can. There's another hit from Zach, actually not dying, and now they're chasing in Jace. Corki is dead to rights, and that's their main damage. The purple team needed that pickoff. The blue inhibitor responds, but at this point, will it matter? Zyra just trying to tank as much as she can, not ultimately getting any damage out. The passive will go on to Villa, but it will actually miss. Shaco pushing this bottom lane inhibitor. Jace actually getting the kill there. Now going to flash outside of his base, just trying to keep himself safe. The GA popped, but the purple team look like they've got this one in the bag. Troll actually takes out Gragas. The impatience of this purple team coming back to bite them, and I'm afraid it may cost them another team fight loss. The Playful Trickster putting down a lot of damage. Troll needs to get back. The Ignite coming out, but the shutdown gold goes to Ezreal. The Ignite ticking, but he will stay alive. And as that inhibitor falls, and the middle inhibitor falls, and the top inhibitor is still alive, but will fall shortly, I'm sure. The fact is that the blue team are sitting on the back foot, firmly on their butts, and they need an absolute miracle to get back into this one. $40 minutes and 50 seconds into the game, a 12k gold lead and an 8 turret lead for the purple team. Things looking very, very, very good for them indeed. Jax at 10 kills, Gragas at 8, giving up 7 deaths since then. That's a problem that I have quite a bit. I play a character, I get about 10 kills, and then I give up 7. And then that incredible advantage that I had absolutely evaporates. But the blue team doing a good job of rotating their lanes, trying to get some lane presence of their own. The Baron is now a non-factor on the blue team. They do not have that resource at their disposal anymore, and the purple team will not relent. They're doing the right thing by pushing this. And with Ezreal, the Guardian's Angel, that may be the nail in the coffin for this team. Jace has the Guardian's Angel, but it was procced in the last fight. The Howling Gale actually stopping mid-elastic slingshot. I'll have to keep that in mind when I play support Janna. A little disappointed that this Janna isn't playing Forecast Janna, but what are you going to do? Last slingshot just to clear the wave out a little bit, but the burst damage coming out of Gragas will try to stop that a little bit. And here comes the team fight, folks. Jumping into the fray. The ultimate comes out of Shaco just for a little bit of extra damage. The Shiraya's Reverie, as well as the Stranglethorn, comes out and misses everybody. There's the ultimate out of Janna, keeping them all healthy. Troll actually gets a kill with the chum in the water. Let's bounce, bouncing on everybody. Catches 3 at the end. They're just trying to get everything they can down onto Jax. Will they be able to take him down? Not yet, but Ezreal in the middle lane actually manages to take down the inhibitor. Will their impatience come back to bite them, because Brozu Joe gives up another kill? A 2-for-1 team fight victory. Keeping the pressure up is the purple team, but not able to close the game out. When will we see this roller coaster ride end? That's the question I have to ask. My goodness, folks. 42 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. This is one of those games that you dread on solo queue, where you are so far ahead and you just cannot crack that pesky opponent. They're stubborn as a mule, refuse to move, standing in their base, saying, no, of course we won't surrender. I don't care if we are 20k gold down, and for some reason, you simply cannot kill them. I have nightmares about stuff like that, I promise you. Corki almost getting caught out. Actually, the Arcane Shift, as well as the okay, and ultimately Corki will go down. I was going to say the Mystic Shot, as well as the Arcane Shift, putting plenty of damage down. Proccing Ezreal's passive is going to keep him safe, but now suddenly, Troll has a ton of damage. There goes the chum in the water, not doing enough. Jax will get down, and this is the problem that you see at lower echelon play. At a certain point, you're trying to push the base, you're trying to push your lanes out just so you can get a little bit of map control, and you get caught out. Now Jax looking very invincible indeed. The Strangler actually might catch several, does catch several, and Marine Revenge actually goes down to the turret shots. The Let's Bounce coming out. Will they actually turn this around? Getting Whale Whisker. The Monsoon out of Janna, trying to keep them safe. The GA popped onto Ezreal, trying to kite backwards, but the team fight goes again in favor of the blue team, but Gragas was not there for the fight, and that's what's going to make the difference now. Acceleration gate out, the charge forward by Gragas, trying to chase down Jace. There's the burst damage. We will leave that fight because in the main base is the bigger story. Tons of super minions flooding the base, taking down the Nexus turrets, now focusing the Nexus. Folks, this is the time. This is how the cookie crumbles. Blue team will take the fall despite a kill lead, finding themselves about 14k down at 44 minutes and 30 seconds. A dominating performance by the purple team. Had some trouble closing it out because of some stubborn blue players, but ultimately able to attain the victory and the LP to follow. 11 turrets to 1, 78.8k gold to 64.6k gold, 31 kills to 33, but who cares if you have the one Nexus lead in favor of the purple team. Great job by them. I still feel that the composition was a little bit in favor of the blue team, if I'm completely honest, but the purple team just played masterfully. Their team fight was great. They got some early kills to snowball them into the mid game, got some more great kills to snowball them into the late game. And Corki's shoulders simply were not burly enough to carry this team, no matter how few deaths and many kills and how many assists he had. GG purple team. Well played indeed. This thing takes forever to exit. Well, folks, scream my lungs out. Now that I've absolutely screamed my lungs out for the first time tonight, we've still got more games. I'm going to be playing until 10. If that means one more game, if that means two more games, we will let fate decide. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break so I can refresh my voice. Don't go anywhere. We're going to do more League of Legends on Samu3l Cast on this beautiful Tuesday night. Stick around.